Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, Lori Spagna. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started. Hello, you beautiful soul. How are you? I'm so happy to be with you here today. Thank you for participating and showing up. So today's episode is all about finding your purpose. I'm excited to share this today. I think it's going to be really helpful to you. Even if you already have found your purpose, it will be for you because you know what happens when you found your purpose. But I want to share about this today. And it's such a big question on earth. So many people go through it. But I want to say this morning, as of today, Jupiter has moved into the sign of Cancer. If you didn't listen to the podcast episode 2 episodes ago about that, please listen to it. I did these podcasts in a row. So it's a really good episode. You want to make sure you listen to it. It's audio only, but totally worth it. Anyway, the energies this morning were just so good. I woke up. I was just so blissed out. I just laid there. Oh my God, those are the best days. Those are the best days when you wake up and it doesn't even matter where your mind's at or where your emotion. It's just you can be lost in what I call the Shakti, which is just the energy that you can feel. Now, I don't know how many of you have had that experience or similar kind of experience to that. You have to play with energy to understand it, right? I mean, this is what I teach, how to find the frequencies, discover and awaken them within you and call forward the energies that you most desire. And it's such a huge part of, what we do inside of Sacred Visionary, inside of my mentorship programs, even in the DNA activations webinar, which by the way is coming up on August 8th. Make sure you join us for that. Next live DNA activations webinar will be on August 8th at the Lions Gate. But, just playing in energy, because when you're in energetic resonance with your own personal, bliss, your own personal joy, your own personal sense of feeling. I usually say better than good, but it's so much better than good. And all it is the energy that you feel. The mind isn't sitting there going like, all the mind is saying is like, wow, this is so good. This is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. Right. And the emotions are like, I just feel so good. Like the emotions aren't in there. It's just the energy. That's how I woke up today. I love, love, love those days. It's like it would just wake up to it. And I mean, I haven't been having them as much over the past 6 months because, as many of you know, I was on the road. I was on the road for 5 months straight without spending more than a week in one place. Airbnb-ing it, right? For the most part, or hotels or VRBOs. I'm going to talk more about that. I did a whole video blog series that I haven't really made those available because I really look horrible on them, right? I was just on the road. I never put any makeup on. I was like wearing t-shirts and there's a little part of me that's like, but the content is so good. One of them is all about like, I was just doing DNA activations with the sun and teaching people how to do it at some park in Lake Lure, North Carolina. That was one of the episodes. There's just good stuff in there. So I do need to release them. But anyway, those will be on the YouTube channel. But this is the whole thing about energy, right? Because when you're in energetic resonance and vibratory states of just feeling so good, that's where your body heals. That's where your mindset starts shifting. That's where you start having big epiphanies. That's where not only your heart opens, but your emotions no longer control you, but rather they become tools that you use. That's where you realize you're reclaiming your power and your unification with your source. And that's where more of the divinity of who you are awakens. So I just laid in bed for like 2 hours, just blissed out with the energy. I wasn't even doing anything. Just being blissed out in energy. I didn't even have to meditate to get there because when you're liberated from density, that's your natural state of being, right? And because I was on the road for 5 months, always constantly packing, going, traveling. Where am I going today? What am I doing today? What am I going to see? It was really fun, but it just got so, by the 5th month, I kind of hit the floor. I got really sick. I was tired. My body was like, no more. And then within a week, I found the place where I'm staying now, which is it's a summer rental, but it's right for me. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's just allowing me the time to decide if I want to stay here more long term or if I want to, what I want to do next. And it's actually right in Rhinebeck, New York. I just love it. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have slept better. Wow. I'm totally surrounded by nature. I can show you, if you're watching on TV, a little bit of the backyard. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Yeah. That's my backyard there. Sorry if you're watching on YouTube. Anyhow, if you're not, if you're just listening to the podcast version, no problem, but you won't see that. Either way, and there's a whole water back there. It's just gorgeous, right? I just manifested that in like less than 2 days. I was like, I'm ready. Bring my place to me right now. I'm done traveling. I was like in bed for about 3 or 4 days while I was up in Saratoga Springs. And then 3 options came up for me. And this was the one I went with. So it's right for me for right now. Okay, but we're talking about purpose today. So I want to share more about that for you. And this is the thing. This has become a new way to punish ourselves, right? If you don't know your purpose, somehow there's this belief that you're somehow less than others. And if you do know your purpose and you're trying to fulfill it, there's usually other things that come with that. There certainly have been for me, like, why aren't I reaching more people? Or why hasn't it happened fast enough? Or why isn't it easier? Or why haven't my right people found me? Or why isn't it going more effort? Like those are the questions that come up for people on their journey, even if they have found their purpose. But let's define this. And I've learned this from channeling with the collective and just on my own journey, because I've been living my purpose for a very long time. Let's just describe this. First, every person on earth has at least one, and typically more than one purpose. And your purpose overall can be self-defined, but let's make this clear. Across the board, bar none, every human has a shared purpose. All right, that's my dog shaking herself out. That we all have a shared purpose, and the shared purpose is to remember who we are, to reclaim our connection with our source. And that source, some people call it God. Some people call it the divine. Some people call it spirit. Some people call it Jesus. Some people call it the universe or universal intelligence. Some people call it the infinite, the all that is, the I am, the one. Of course, there's other names for God, Allah, Krishna. Some people call it Buddha or Christ consciousness. However you uniquely identify it, that source, you are part of it. It is part of you. You are within it. It is within you. And the more you unify with that source, the more and more you reclaim the truth, more of the truth of who you are, the wholeness, the fullness, the richness of who you are, the divinity of who you are. And in so doing, because that is your number one purpose, you also start to awaken more of the divine potential within you. And that becomes your secondary purpose. So your secondary purpose is, what are you here to bring forward into this world? And that's what people are searching for. But here's the answer on this. Your purpose, that secondary purpose, is revealed to you as you become vibrationally compatible with it. It's all vibrational compatibility. You can't search for that through your brain. Not really. Then you're just finding a job. And you'll never be fulfilled that way, right? The greatest fear, in my opinion, that people have isn't, and a lot of people will say, oh, your greatest fear is how powerful you are. No, well, I think that's really beautiful, but I don't really think that's true. I think your greatest fear is that you don't find your purpose and fulfill your greatest potential. Fulfilling your greatest potential is your soul's mission. In order to fulfill your greatest potential, you have to first come into vibrational alignment with who you truly are. That's purpose number one. And then through that alignment, you become vibrationally compatible with what you're here to share and offer. This can't be learned through the brain. It is about vibrationally shifting and elevating your consciousness, energetically shifting. Now, your secondary purpose, and there can be many of them, I'm going to share more about this, is coded in your DNA. So when and as you start to activate your DNA, your dormant DNA, again, come join us on August 8th for the next DNA activations. You can also get in the membership of the DNA, but the live events are separate from that, right? I mean, those links are always on my website. Under the DNA membership is under memberships. So your secondary purpose is coded in the DNA. The DNA will help you awaken more of your primary purpose, which I just went over. Your secondary purpose is also in your Akashic records, which I teach people in Sacred Visionary how to read the Akashic records. It's a standalone class people can access as well. But the truth is as you become vibrationally compatible, you can access that. It's not easy to get to your records if you're not vibrationally compatible. That's why people will often say, I can't get in, I can't get to my records, I'm not getting access, only because they haven't developed the vibrational capacity to elevate to that frequency yet. But it's there. But the key is, if you really want to start to know what your purpose is, you have to start awakening it from within you. You can't search for it with the brain. Now, there are certain things that will help you awaken it from within you, aside from energy work, which is the number one most important thing, including mindset shifting. But you have to do deep inner work, including healing and resolving traumas. Really important. Everybody has traumas. Betrayals, upsets, wounds, wounding patterns, abandonment issues, self-love, self-worthiness issues, deservability issues, issues of enoughness, being good enough, feeling good enough. You know, those are all issues that everybody has to unpack. And I mean, Sacred Visionary is all about that. That's the work that I do to help people. But regardless, that's part of you doing the inner work to uncover and to reveal your purpose to yourself, right? It's part of the primary process, and it's part of the secondary process of finding your purpose. But here's the thing about finding your purpose. I have a lot more I'm going to say about this. Not only is it within you that you become vibrationally compatible to it as you do this inner work, shifting your energy, your vibration, and up-leveling and working through these kinds of traumas and choosing new energies, defining who you want to be and being it, not only does it get revealed to you, but it can change over time. So, for example, when I was working in corporate America for the first 20 years out of college, I was completely misaligned. Completely misaligned. I was working for a job, job, to make money. And I was miserable, right? So during those 20 years, many of you have heard this, I was smoking cigarettes, excessive smoking, excessive drinking, excessive inappropriate sexing, excessive inappropriate spending, overspending, excessive inappropriate amounts of, I think I said alcohol already, eating, excessive inappropriate amounts of pharmaceutical drugs from, well-meaning doctors. That was their solution, not the right solution. All that stuff was going on because I was not aligned. Credit card debt. Oh, it's horrible, right? Thyroid was off, all kinds of issues. Hair falling out, couldn't wake up, couldn't get to sleep. I'm big pharma drugs for all that. And then as soon as I made the change to pursue more joy, to stop making it about trying to make money, and I was in 6 figures of credit card debt, that's when the first layer started to reveal itself. Okay. I shifted and became a dog trainer. But the real layer that revealed itself through the dog training was animal communication and telepathy and the ability to communicate with other beings. Because I was also awakening my ability to communicate with so-called dead people, loved ones who have transitioned. That revealed itself to me. And I say this all the time. I didn't have to take classes. I was playing with it because it was revealing itself. Those abilities, I had developed them in other lifetimes. Now, you have gifts too. Your gift may be some kind of healer, or maybe to clean up something in the sea. Like I just heard something new on the internet, how someone in Japan discovered a plastic that biodegrades in like less than 30 minutes or something. It was a great article. Sorry, I don't remember all the details of it, but wow, that person found their mission, right? Your mission could be to plant more trees, to clean up the forests. Your mission could be like a gazillion things, right? All the things out there. But regardless, there's a first layer of that, right? That's how it starts to unfold. But I didn't know I was going to go way beyond dog training and animal communication and telepathy and communicating with the dead. That was just a layer of it. Then as I pursued that, the next layer started to reveal itself. And that was where I started unlocking my gifts as a healer. I got my Reiki master. And I started using Reiki, and I started getting into energy and learning how to work with energy. And I was playing with energy. That's when I had a near-death experience. So all these other gifts and talents came in through the near-death experience. You don't have to have a near-death experience. It's just that's how it happened for me, right? After that, there was a first contact experience. That's when my star family came on. That's a lot of the times when I'm channeling the fleet, which, by the way, last episode, I channeled. That was an awesome episode from the fleet. Go listen to that if you haven't listened to it already. And channel Palladians on that episode is a really good episode, right? So more of my mission came in. Like the channeling started after that, but I was still not allowing the channeling in because I was like, I didn't want strangers coming in. I was denying my channeling gifts for at least 10 years or more before I started actually channeling, because I kept getting invited to channel beings. And I was like, no, you're not coming in. You're not coming into my body. No way. I don't know who you are. Right. I had to develop my capacity for that and my sense of knowing how to do it with a kind of mastery. But that was revealing itself. Now I'm channeling more and more. Right. But that was a 10 or 15-year process of developing that gift. But it was within me. I really didn't take a course or a class. It was within me as I became more vibrationally compatible. Now, I'm not saying don't take a class in channeling. I'm not saying don't take a class in absolutely. I took my Reiki master. I was learning energy work for years before I became an energy healing practitioner. So what I'm saying is your secondary mission is going to reveal itself to you as you pursue your joy, because I was pursuing my joy. I was going to that energy healing group every Thursday night, learning to work with energy, learning from a true master and the way I got connected to that guy in Maui, like people didn't get close to that guy. That was like, that's part of your sacred contracts, that as you align yourself, they just start, the people you're meant to meet show up in your life. The people who are meant to help you do show up in your life and in your path. But it was more like I was just following that path of my greatest joy, my happiness, my fulfillment, without even necessarily knowing. I was led, I was guided, I showed up to events, and more of it was revealed. I would go to these talks with Eli, Jackson Bear, and Gangaji. Love them, right? They were two of my earliest teachers. I went to all of their events while I was in Maui and when they came, and they were there a lot. So, in other words, I'm not saying don't go to your teachers and your mentors. You do need those people. But I'm saying that as you pursue those things that are most interesting to you and most enjoyable to you, your purpose gets revealed to you through you. And yes, you're going to study certain things that are going to enhance that. Like I'm self-taught in numerology, I'm self-taught in namology, and I'm self-taught in astrology. I never took classes in those things. Yeah, okay, there were some times I read some books about it and that enhanced my knowing. And there were times I watched videos about, certainly a lot of videos I would watch about astrology because I was interested, and it enhanced my knowing. But that was stuff that was within me. This is what I'm saying. Your secondary purpose is within you, and it will reveal itself to you as you pursue your joy, what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. Take classes, be around the people you want to work with and learn from, participate in groups and healing and energy work with mentors and coaches. Absolutely. Because that's what's going to help reveal it to you. But I wasn't searching for my mission or my purpose. I really wasn't. I wanted to make a difference for animals globally. That's how it started. I didn't even understand that from universal consciousness perspective, humans or animals were part of the animal kingdom. And so when I was making that statement, I really didn't know what it was all going to evolve into. I never knew I was going to be a channeler. I didn't set out to be a channeler. I didn't set out to communicate with dead people or loved ones who've crossed over. I didn't set out to be an Akashic Records practitioner. But when I started opening the records and just playing in there and working in there, oh my God, so many of my gifts, talents, and abilities started to reveal themselves. I did want to heal my traumas. I was in a lot of emotional pain and mental pain from my origins, growing up in, a challenging family dynamic where there was addictions. And I had to overcome that, right? But those were the keys, that trauma, all those traumas were the keys that helped me to awaken, to heal and resolve what was in me. And that path doesn't really end. It just gets easier and more graceful. It lessens. There'll be periods of time where it's amplified. Certainly during my Saturn return, which I've talked about, that was amplified for me. And I was working through that in an intense period. And then, then it's like come out the other side, right? And then there's a lot of grace and up leveling, right? So it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But it does as you walk your journey, as you engage in life, as you pursue things that are interesting to you and enjoyable to you, as you participate with other people who are doing similar things to that which you desire to do, or exhibiting behaviors that you want to be more like, who are making events available. You go there, you participate, you meet other people, doors open. Proximity is really important, even if that proximity is through, via the internet, or through, a Zoom call. That's fine. You're just engaging energetically with and around the people, the types of things that you want to participate in. That's how it all starts to reveal itself. And of course, the first part, trauma healing, mindset shifting, emotional clearing. Oh, So important. Attitudinal adjustments, right? I've worked with a lot of people over the years who they do the work, but they still had a bad attitude. A bad attitude will get you nowhere. I had to learn that too, so I get it. But all that stuff is what reveals your purpose to you. Now, once you start revealing, then you're like, well, there's the questions that come up. Why isn't it happening fast enough? Why aren't there more people participating, finding me? Why aren't my people finding? Am I doing it good enough? Am I doing it well enough? Am I good enough? Those things come up too. Those are part of the journey. Everyone goes through them. So there's more mindset shifting and energy healing and trauma healing. Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Is my stuff good enough? Are people going to like it? Are they going to value it? Am I doing it right? I mean, for years, I had that in the earlier days of the DNA activations. That's why I practically gave it away for free for the first 5 years I was doing it. I was doing DNA activations for $33 in my house for 2 years. Those were the first 2 years. It started as $25 in LA. And I'd fill up a room in my house. We had 35 or 40 people in a circle so big I couldn't fit more people in. And, in a little 1-bedroom in Santa Monica when I first got back from Maui. And that was after doing it for free for 2 years there for everybody. So that's how it started. I just only charged $25. And I would just ask for people for feedback and testimonies, so I could know, is it really good? Is it really helping them? Because I know for me, it was awesome. Right? That's how I started, and people were, like, raving, and they were, like, accomplishing so many things, and that's how I started realizing, like, yeah, this is real. This is good, and over the years, it just so many people having such profound and fabulous results, and even to this day, the DNA activations that I do that are for free on YouTube, please go watch them, go get them. People's comments in there are like, "Wow, I could really feel that," and, "Wow, that really helped me," and just such great feedback. So I know that how amazing they are now. And I still make that so affordable for people because it's so important. It's such an important part of the overall puzzle of awakening and transforming and, accessing your divine potential, your unlimited potential that's stored in your DNA. But all of that's within you. And it's about you becoming resonant with it. But here's the thing, like I said, you're still gonna have to work through those issues of, is it good enough? Is it valuable enough? And here's what I wanna say about that, and this is stuff I cover in the self-love class. It's good enough. You're good enough. It is the divine revealing itself to you. You are good enough. You have always been a good enough. You will always be good enough. And I want you to just think about, for a moment, think about someone who you absolutely love or respect or admire. You don't need to know that person. Anyone could be Jesus, anyone. Someone, make it maybe not Jesus, make it just someone in your everyday life. Maybe someone you know on YouTube, you may not have met them. Anyone that you really respect and admire, not a dog or a cat in this case. Let it be a person for this moment. And just think about them for just a moment. You don't even have to know them personally, but you respect and admire them. And from your perspective, are they good enough? Yes, of course they are. Are they good enough? And if they had fewer followers and only one person following them, for example, would they still be good enough? Yes. If they had more followers, would they still be good enough? Yes. It has nothing to do with how many followers or how big their audience is. Or if they were a little less cute or pretty, would they still be good enough? Of course, because you respect and admire them. So, or if they were a little less heavy or fat, would you still admire them? Or if they had a little bit more weight on them, let's say they just gained a little bit of weight, or maybe they weren't as cute or pretty, would you still admire and respect them? Would they still be good enough? Yes, they are inherently good enough. And you know that about them, especially if there's someone like your best friend or someone, just whoever they are, they've helped you in some way. You've benefited from listening to them or watching them or knowing them. They're good enough. And so are you. Now just think about something out in nature like the trees or water. I'm looking at my window there. The plants. Is the tree outside good enough? Of course it is. It's good enough. It's more than enough. Is the water good enough? Now you can bring to mind any animal. Is that animal good enough? Of course. Because they exist. Because they exist. Because they were created. And you are good enough too. You are good enough. It brings tears to my eyes a little because it's the path we're all awakening to, right? And that's why in order to bring your purpose out into the world, you have to know that about yourself. You are good enough. More than enough. You are enough. More than good enough. And it's about you discovering that from within yourself so that what you have within you can be revealed and shared, and that you can do it with all the courage and all the pride, not false arrogance. That's not what I'm talking about, but real sense of pride of what you do and offer. I had to discover that in my own self too. Now, that's part of what even this last 6-month journey of traveling across country was. I thought it was just about finding a new home. But what I'm realizing now is I was on a bit of a Wizard of Oz journey. Like there's no place like home. I miss home. Home is Florida. But I also recognize that the journey was about me reclaiming that which I had sort of given away to others in the previous 2.5 years without recognizing that I was giving away pieces of myself from that place within me that had to more fully recognize that everything I was offering was more than good enough. That everything I was sharing was more than good enough. That I was more than good enough. And so are you. And that is a huge and important part of discovering your divine purpose, because that's part of your purpose too. To recognize that you are not only good enough, but more than good enough. I hope this has been helpful, especially to all of you fellow light workers and way showers and healers and ascending, awakening beings who know that there's something beautiful in you, glorious in you, amazing, and you're here to bring it in the world. Even if it's just to share it with your family and to be the light for those you love, to share it out in the world because there's something magnificent inside of you that you are reclaiming and that you are awakening so that it can be revealed through you. And that is your primary mission, to discover the brilliance and the magnificence within you, the light that is within you, that we are all on that journey together. And then become, awaken, reveal what's so uniquely yours, uniquely appropriate within you to share in the world. That is the light of the divine expressing itself through you. As you become the vibrational energetic of that, vibrationally resonant with that which you are. And that is the greatness that's so much more than good enough. Okay. I hope this has been helpful. It was a joy and a pleasure to share this episode with you. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about it and how it helped you, and if it resonates and lands for you. And I hope that it was not only positively uplifting for you, but also maybe helped you to find and discover more of your own true divine purpose. I know there's a lot more to the purpose after that, but these are the early steps and early stages, and even a lot of the in-between stages, right? This is all part of it. So I really hope it was helpful. I hope you'll join me at more of the upcoming events too, because that's part of what awakens and unlocks the vibrational resonance within you, the energetic consciousness of who you are. And with that, I am sending you so much love and wishing you, of course, your most benevolent best. Until next time, farewell for now. Bye-bye.
Thanks
Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up-level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.